Welcome to this English speaking practice. In this lesson, we're going to practice small talk in English with 20 simple questions about everyday topics. I'll read each question and give you my answer in natural English. So you can improve your listening, vocabulary, pronunciation, and also conversation. This is a great way to practice real English and learn how to express your opinions more naturally. So listen carefully, speak with me, and let's practice English together. Here's the first question. What's the best way to start your day? The best way to start my day, I would say, it is with a cup of coffee. I love coffee. Sometimes I drink coffee with milk, but black coffee is one of my favorites. So I wake up earlier in order to prepare it more calmly. I like not only to drink coffee, but to reflect about my day and to reflect about life. I love reading books and mangas in the morning instead of just checking my phone. I think it's a great way for me to clear up my mind. Um, if it's the first video that you're watching in my channel, probably you don't know it, but I am a full-time English teacher. I create content not only on YouTube, but also Instagram, TikTok, and also I teach not only private classes like 101, but also in group. So I'm always working. I work in the morning, afternoon, and night. And being away from screens is a very important thing for me because I get really tired of technology and checking the phone and things like that. Let's go to the next one. Do you prefer mornings or evenings? I definitely prefer mornings because I'm very anxious. So every time that I'm sleeping, I get anxious to wake up. I know, stupid, but that's the way that I feel. I lay down and then I think, "Oh my god, I need to wake up." I don't know why I do it. You know what I mean? So on the weekend, I wake up at 6. Why? I don't know. I just I feel very anxious if I'm just laying down and it's like 7 a.m. I start getting nervous, like, oh my God, I need to do something. Maybe it's because of the time that I served the army, or maybe it's because it's been more than 10 years that I've been working every single day with teaching. And um, since I have many students abroad, especially in Europe, I've always started working early, not only at 7, but sometimes my first class is at 6 a.m. So I'm used to getting up early. That's one of the things that um, mm, mm, that's one of the things that make me enjoy mornings instead of evenings. In the evening, I'm very tired. However, I like to read before sleeping. That's one of the things that I like. What makes a good weekend? So, a good weekend for me is spending time with my family. I like watching movies with my wife. And on the weekend, I also enjoy exercising and walking the dog. So, I don't like to do things on the screen. So, if I have to do something, I prefer do it away from the screen because um, I work in front of the screen the whole time. So, reading, walking the dog, exercising, and also studying. That's one of the things that I like. I prefer reading fiction instead of nonfiction. If you still haven't checked this video of myself talking about it, I love fiction books, especially mangas. However, I also like studying languages. I just do it for the pleasure of doing it. So there's no special reason like, oh, Emerson, are you planning on living in Japan or working there? No, I just enjoy it. So it's a hobby. I also like calisthenics and boxing. I do it in the garage. That's something that really makes me relaxed. So that's a good weekend for me. Is it better to live in a big city or a small town? So, guys, I've lived in a big city. I don't know if you guys know. So, you can just check a little bit more on my channel. I've lived in India. I've lived in Chennai, which is one of the biggest cities in Asia, even in the world, I would say. And Chennai is super big. And it's got pretty much everything. However, I was born in a small town, and not only my hometown, but also other cities that I lived. For example, when I lived in Portugal, it was also a small town. So if I had to choose between big city or small town, right now I would prefer living in a small town because you don't need to live in a big city to have access to the things that a big city has. You know what I mean? Like you can go to Sao Paulo, for example, and come back the other day. Or if you're from a different city, you can just go to the capital of your state. Um, and the capital of your state is going to be full of the things that you need. And I think that after COVID hit, one of the things that we have been having is online jobs. I think it's possible. It's not easy, but it's possible. So you can have access to global jobs in a small town. Not only big cities are a life changing. So there are many. I think that many people go to big cities and in order to have a change in their lives. So if we consider the behavior aspect, I think it's good, especially if you're young and if you live with your parents. That's something that really changed my life. Living abroad and having to sort everything out on my own, and that's something that really made me grow as a person. And not only that, studying abroad also is something that really hit me hard, and it's been a life changing for me. So I would definitely go to a big city if I were younger, but for living right now, I would prefer a small town. But I understand the aspects that big cities have, which is the behavior aspect, which is like you need to make do. You need to give your way and decide everything, and that's it. You know, what's your favorite kind of weather? I really don't mind about the weather. To be honest, I don't care about the weather. As I've told you guys, I've lived in the extremes. Chennai is super hot, and the city that I lived in north of Portugal, is a very cold town. So I would definitely say that I just don't mind about the weather that much, but I would prefer cold weather in general because cold weather is easy for you for heating up. But if it is hot, you can only get colder, quote unquote, by drinking something or even having AC. But it's hard to have an AC. So uh, I don't have an AC in this room, for example. So I think hot weather is harder and cold weather is easier. So if you have AC, no problem. But if you don't, I think you definitely prefer cold weather because you can just put on some clothes and problem solved. But if it's very hot, then you have a problem. Do you prefer eating at home or at restaurants? Um, I I don't like going out to be honest. So I prefer eating at home. Actually, one of my hobbies is cooking. I love cooking, especially using the pressure cooker. I love using it, especially because it's very fast. The food is delicious. So, yeah, I prefer eating at home. If I'm not cooking, I'll just order something. But sometimes I like going to restaurants. It's good to just be in a different place. It's good to just be in a different place. Yes, that's correct. It's good to just be in a different place, and it's good to see different people, even though if you don't know them. That's also something that I really like, which is just looking at the crowds and see things. I That's something that I like. So going to restaurants is good, but I prefer eating at home. What makes a good friend? So I would say someone that's reliable. However, I would say that it is someone that gives in the same extent that they take. So probably, in I think that's a psychological effect. Um, Most people they take care of others, but they don't take care of themselves. So it's easier to do it because of someone else instead of doing it for yourself. What do I mean by that? Is that sometimes we just have a friend that is always asking, and it's not giving. So I think that you just need to take those people out of your life. And that's what I have been doing. So I have a small group of friends. The other day, I just texted a friend, "Hey, buddy, how are you doing? How are things going? Uh, how's your life?" And the guy just ghosted me. So he wasn't my friend. I was his friend, but he wasn't my friend. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes we just need to give the call and make this bad not a bad decision, make this hard decision. That's better. So sometimes our happiness or our stress is just one step away of making the hard decisions or having the hard talks. So having a good friend is about giving and taking. Sometimes we just uh give, and we forget that friendship's not like that. The person has to help you as well. But I do understand that right now people are in a hurry. Life is very hard right now. We have to work, we have to study, and I totally understand if I text a friend of mine and he or she doesn't reply to me. No hard feelings, but unfortunately, that's my conclusion. If I text someone and this person doesn't reply to me, that person is not my friend. Of course, I'm not talking about commercial aspect. I'm talking about friends, people that you grew up with. So it's not only about being reliable. I think that's the bare minimum, but I also think that it's about giving and taking. Is it better to plan everything or be spontaneous? That's a hard question. I've made these questions, but I didn't want to give too much thought of them. I wanted it to be something natural and spontaneous. So I do think that sometimes it's good to be spontaneous. However, when it's about time management, I would say that it's better to plan. And when you can't control many variables, I would say that's better to plan. For example, if you are planning on going out with your partner or your spouse or something, you can plan where and what time you're going to celebrate at a restaurant, but I don't think you should plan the whole night. I think you can plan what and where and when, but the action itself has to be spontaneous. So I don't think you should take notes about everything or to have a script when you're talking to somebody. So when it comes to relationships, I would go for being spontaneous, but with some aspect of planning, because without planning, things can go wrong, and especially trips. Oh my God. If you're planning on traveling and you just, oh, I want to be spontaneous trip, it's going to be a bad trip. I'm sorry. Because we don't have many things that we control in life. That's the reality. So the things that we can control, I think that we should most of the times. So you can't control the result, but you can control the process. So try to be very strict to the process. I think that's a good idea. So yeah, I would say that's better to plan. What's a good way to relax after a busy day? I think about I ask my students this question, especially when we're talking about routine, A1 and A2 level students. I like to ask this kind of questions, but myself, I would say, I think I never understood this type of question. Not the the language. I mean the meaning. It's like, what do you do to relax? Nothing. I think for relaxing, you do nothing. It's like, oh, I like to do this and that. So you're doing something. You're not relaxing. I think relaxing is like you either do nothing or you just sleep. If you're doing something, you're not relaxing. You're doing something. And doing something requires some kind of effort. So when it comes to relax, I would say that you either do nothing or you sleep. However, if you have a trade job, manual labor or something, I think doing something intellectual is a good way to relax. But if you do something intellectual, um, do for work, you mean doing something that is manual is a good way to relax. So I think that there's gotta be a balance between them. You know what I mean? Do you prefer movies or TV shows? Right now, I would definitely go for movies because I'm huge. I'm a huge fan of old movies like Bloodsport or Rocky or Cobra. Old movies like Stallone or Schwarzenegger or DiCaprio. I really like those old movies. So TV shows are great. I like them, but at this moment, I prefer movies. What makes a trip memorable? People. You can go anywhere in the world, anywhere. If you're not with people that you like, it's not gonna be a good trip. So, myself included, um, and you can think about your life. Maybe the trip that you like the most is not the one that was the further from your home, but the one that you were with your loved ones. So I have some special trips deep in my heart, and they include people that I love. Is learning a new language difficult? Definitely not in the technical aspect with the right methodology, but definitely yes if you have a behavior problem. I'll give you one example. It's completely normal. It's not just you or me. I think it's something that most people struggle, which is consistency, which is the prediction of the reward. So we want things fast and easy and with prediction of reward. For example, if I do A and B in X time, I'm going to get Y result for sure. And I think that the system taught us like that. High school, college, it's like if you finish college, you just get your degree. That's it. But that doesn't guarantee you a good job, but you get your degree. So when it comes to language, we think that if we do A plus B equals C, but it's not that simple. So when it comes to language, the equation is input plus output equals fluency. So it's very simple. There are many ways to learn a language, and input plus output is the best way of them. So, how can you practice your input? Watching this video. You can by watching this video. So you can watch this video, you can listen to music, you can listen to podcasts, watch movies, series, and so on. This is one of the ways to get more input. You can study some vocabulary, for example, and you have the output. So, how can you practice output? Shadowing. It's a very easy way to practice it. You can create your own sentences. You can talk to people on the internet. If you live abroad, you can talk to people, but you can't skip the process. You can't push the output, but you can push the input. However, you need some active part. Learning a language is not 100%, but you can have some passive aspects, but it's not 100% passive. It's something that is active. So learning a language is not difficult when it comes to technique, but it is difficult when it comes to the behavior aspect because it takes years, not months. It takes years. And people want the result faster and faster. And unfortunately, you can't get the best of the results in a short time. But you can definitely become fluent in a language, trusting the process, and giving it time. So, learning a language in 3 months, you're probably going to get frustrated. The problem is not the method, it's not you. The problem is that learning a language in 3 months or 6 months is something that the likelihood of achievement is very, very small. You can definitely learn the basics, but becoming fluent, that's something that takes years. And I would add that it's a lifetime dream for many people. So I've been teaching English for the past 10 years. I speak 4 languages: English, Portuguese, Spanish, and Japanese. Japanese is the latest one, and I still study Japanese. And I know the techniques. I think that I'm very consistent, and it's very hard because you keep working and they struggle is one of the hardest parts, because when we fail, we want to quit. But learning a new language is about feedback and correction, feedback and correction. And you fail, and then you make a mistake, and then you get corrected. So I think that the hard part is about patience. We want things for tomorrow, but it's not like that. It's not like that. But uh, I'm sure that it's worth it, and I'm very proud of you for being here. And I would add that you can't buy fluency. You can't go to a store and buy fluency. Oh, I'm rich, I'm going to buy fluency. No, you can't. You can have classes every single day, but you can't just pay for the classes and not show up. You need to show up every day. It's like going to the gym. Oh, can I lose 100 kilos in 1 month? You can't, but in a year, maybe. If you show up at the gym, if you show up every day, things are going to work out for you. But if you don't show up, unfortunately, no. So I think the hardest part about learning a language is consistency, but that's not something exclusive for languages. That's something that we face and we struggle in every aspect of our lives. Diet. Oh, on Monday I'm going to start my diet, and then I'm going to eat clean and light, and on Friday you're ordering a pizza or something. So, getting motivated is easy, but getting consistent is the hard part, not only with languages, but with many things. And specifically with languages, you can't fake it. You either know or you don't know. There's nothing in between. It's not like, oh, I kinda understand. No, it's not like that, unfortunately. What's the best way to stay motivated? I don't think there's a best way to stay motivated. I don't believe that. I'm not being pessimistic. Um, I'm just saying that there are days that you're going to wake up and you just don't want to do anything, but you have to keep going. So I think that there's no best way to stay motivated. But not only consistency, I think the best thing about consistency is the habit. I think habit is something that's even stronger than motivation or any kind of, I don't know, any other thing. I think having a routine is the best thing, because if you have a routine, you're going to do it. Not only for the bad aspect of the behavior, but also for the good aspect. I wake up, I make my coffee, and I start working. I work out and I study at night on the weekend. I drink tea. And that's not because I'm motivated or because I am persistent or whatever. It's because it's my routine, and I've been doing it for the past 10 years. So it's in my blood, you know what I mean? It's like my grandmother. I used to live with her and my parents, and she used to wake up every day at 5. She didn't need she didn't even need an alarm. She just woke up. It didn't matter if she slept at 1 a.m., she would just wake up. Do you think people spend too much time online? Definitely, for sure. I think that the problem of spending too much time online is that it's very easy to just get your phone and you just start that mindless scrolling and nothing is candid. Many things are fake and they are made to get you addicted to it. If you're a creator, it's like every time that somebody likes something or comment or you get a new subscriber, myself included, it just gives you motivation to record more. So it's like I record a video and then in one day a lot of people just comment, "Hey man, thank you, you're really helping me." And I think that that's good for the creation aspect because I feel that I'm useful. I am, but when it's about consuming content, especially memes or silly videos, I think that's bad. And we also have that mental, there's a vulgar term that I heard. I'm not going to repeat that, but that mental laziness that we just keep watching a video about the thing that we want to become. And we feel that we are becoming that thing instead of just doing it, myself included. When I started on YouTube, I was a complete disaster. Nothing worked, and I started studying it, and it was just something prolix, I would say, something repetitive and prolixical. I think that's a word, prolixical. Yeah, it was prolixical, and I just started wondering. I just need to keep going. So I think that part of wasting our time, and myself included, is like instead of doing it, we just want to fake that. It's like instead of going to the gym, I just watch gym videos. Instead of I don't know, reading about philosophy, I just listen about something. I'm not saying that this is bad. I'm just giving you some examples because most of the times we're just watching memes with mindless scrolling and nothing useful. But I think I would go even further. I think that we do need to put it put things into practice and stop just I don't know, just faking it and just, oh, that guy's doing, and we just feel that we're doing it, but actually we're not. What makes a job enjoyable? I think I'm not going to talk about the money perspective, but I would go for the reason perspective. I would say I think we need to have a reason, we need to have a goal, we need to have good people to work with and to talk to. So not having a toxic environment would be my number one priority, but we need to have a reason. We need to be part of something bigger. But of course, that's a privilege. Sometimes we just need to work for making ends meet and just paying the bills, and we just live paycheck to paycheck. And that was my situation when I was in the army. And that's something that, even though you have a bigger goal, if you don't make ends meet, you are never going to be happy. So I would say that making enough money to live is the bare minimum. The second thing, it would be not working in a toxic environment, and the other one would be being part of something bigger, I would say. Is it important to have hobbies? Definitely yes. Definitely yes. Especially if you, of course, that's my opinion. Especially if you are in a relationship, for example. I think some friend of mine had told me something very personal about every time that he played video games, his wife would complain, and he said, "I make a lot of money, I pay all the bills, there's nothing to be fixed," and she just keeps saying that I'm wasting my time. So if it's your free time, man, just do what the hell you want. You know what I mean? It's like I think everybody should have hobbies. If it's healthier, it's even better. It's like I love playing games. I don't have the time at the moment, but I love playing games. But if you can cultivate a healthy habit, like a healthy hobby, like walking the dog, exercising, or reading, I think it's better. But I think that everybody should have it, especially if you are in a relationship, because if you need to have something that's personal, that it's yours. It's like my candid opinion. Okay, guys, so that was our conversation. Thank you so much for being here. If you would like to know a little bit more about my courses and study with me, just click, just check the link below. It's good to talk to you guys. Don't forget to hit the like button and to subscribe. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you next class. Bye bye.